Yesterday, the ABS released its official labour force statistics at the regional level, so down to a region called an SA4, and that includes Newcastle and Lake Macquarie, and it also includes the rest of the Hunter. When we have a look at the Hunter overall, the number of people employed fell by 18,200 between March to April of this year. Only 3,300 of those people joined the ranks of the unemployed. Meanwhile, 15,000 people within the Hunter actually left the labour force. Commensurate with that, the labour force participation rate fell dramatically down to 62.9% in the month of April. That's a 3 percentage point fall from the figure in the month of March. It's a 4 percentage point fall below the 2019 average of 66.7%. So markedly lower labour force participation rates within the region, and that's consistent with the trends that we saw at the national level last week when the national labour force statistics were released. The unemployment rate for the Hunter stands at 6.7%. That's above the state, 5.9% at the moment, and above Australia at 6.3% in April 2020. Job losses within the region were more pronounced for part-time workers, so a 13% fall in jobs there compared to full-time jobs falling 1.7%. Job losses were about the same in percentage terms for males and females within the region, looking from March to April, just that monthly movement. Young people within the Hunter were particularly heavily impacted in terms of the job losses from March to April, which we know are associated with COVID-19, with the pandemic. Unemployment rate of 17.6% in April for 15 to 24-year-olds. That's above the New South Wales youth unemployment rate of 12.6% and the national youth unemployment rate of 11.6%. That 17.6% figure for youth unemployment is a jump from 14.1% in March, and it's a significant jump from for the average youth unemployment rate over 2019 of 10.6%. In terms of looking forward, there is some good news in other data sets that are available, including the ABS ATO collaboration around the One Touch payroll data, which was released earlier in the week. This is a slightly different measure of employment to the labour force survey. It counts jobs rather than people, but the data is more recent. It extends to the 2nd of May this year. So looking at the data from the 4th of April to the 2nd of May, it looks like the very, very steep fall in jobs and wages, which we observed between the 28th of March and the 4th of April, has slowed down. It's sitting on a relative plateau. And since the 18th of April, payroll jobs decreased by around 1%. Since the 18th of April, there was an increase over the week at the 18th of April to the 25th of May in payroll jobs of about 1%. And in the last week from the 25th of April to the 2nd of May, payroll jobs decreased by around 1%. So 1% movement up and 1% movement back down again, but relatively small movements compared to that movement we observed between the 28th of March and the 4th of April. Similarly, when we look at wages, they've increased they initially increased about 0.5% between the 18th of April and the 25th of April, and total wages paid increased by around 1% between the 25th of April to the 2nd of May. We had some other more recent data available from Alpha Beta Ilium, which is consumer data for 250,000 Australian cardholders, is in its more recent figures. So it goes out to the 4th of May, showing a bounce back, particularly in discretionary expenditure in recent weeks. And it links that to the elevated payments coming through from the government in terms of elevated job seeker and youth allowance payments, and also to the easing of restrictions, making consumer activity more buoyant and consumer spending a little bit more buoyant. We're still looking at a level of discretionary expenditure which is about 10% below normal levels, and we're still looking at overall spending in the economy being 7% below ordinary levels. There's also some speculation that as the weeks roll on, many of those people that left the labour force in terms of are not being actively participating in the labour force are going to come back in and start looking for work. And so then we'll see the unemployment rate go up within the region. Have to wait and see, but we'll be following that very closely within the foundation. Thank you.